She goes, so you're Houdini too, I suppose. I go, what's that supposed to mean? She goes, how'd you get out? Walked out the front door. She goes, no, nobody's come out since the movie started again. I go, no, the movie's already over. She goes, no, it's not. I went and opened the door, looked in, the movie's still going. I'm like, oh no, what just happened? I'm like, oh my goodness, I've somehow gone back in time. If you look at their website for CSIS, also for NRC, they're looking for young students to volunteer. So this is part of a program to get individuals to go to that world that would be super soldiers and to get them in MK programs to where they alter them so that they have chameleon-like ability where they can change how they look and change their form and everything, like the shape-shifting the reptilian do. They're teaching them how to do that. The reptilian were actually teaching in Canada how to do that so that when they go to this other world, they're trying to take this world over, they can look like the people there. They can change literally in an instant. I believe there's a Netflix movie out now where they show a lady that's Russian trained that was able to walk along, like you see also in Lucie, where the movie Lucie, where she changed how she looked, changed her hair, changed her whole physical structure. And so this is part of that whole program in which they're trying to create super soldiers to take this planet because it's a pivotal location for them.
I do want to show one of the other, skills that the agent has. And not only you see it in nature, but, the first one, shapeshift, indigenous folklore, or, mystical world, it is part of reality. But that one here was quite interesting. So it's camouflage. I'm going to let it go, Gene, and please drop your intel and feedbacks. All right. So just for the people, there she is. All right. The woman spy, and she's gonna go hide herself, so bear with this. And she's behind, as you can see, she's taking off her clothes. All right. And going into a camouflage. All right. So Gene, any military intel regarding this skills of stealth?
Yeah, so what they're doing is literally the same thing as the TR3 units do, where they're pulling the energy from behind them, through them, and showing it in front of them. So they literally, like a chameleon, match and there's octopus that can do this too, where they so perfectly match all of the different coral colors on a coral reef. You can't see them at all. They look like part of the reef, just like she's doing here. She, literally matches the background as the foreground of her, so you can not see her anymore. And it's technology, they researched the octopus was the big one, not so much a chameleon, but this octopus is incredible. They can do this stealth kind of matching the background to where they literally become exactly how well this octopus is mimicking it. This is how they teach the super soldier. They learned from the octopus how they do it, and they teach the super soldier. And they even say, if you look at some of this, octopus helps inspire researchers to learn how to mimic. Oh my goodness, it's not giving me what I want. So that's how they do it. They don't want you to really know. Incredible camouflage explains octopus' amazing camouflage skills. And to mimic, inspires researchers. You can guess what they're inspiring camouflage, in other words.
So I'm calling this one Gene's super crazy metaphysical stories. So I did request Gene to share.
Gene's super crazy for sure.
And you know what, Gene? Since if in the 90s and a couple decades ago, people wouldn't give a how can I say it though? Wouldn't give a damn about hearing you. Well, just to let you know, a lot of people do want to hear it. People are going through experiences, I'm pretty sure. So I'll let you share anyone, Gene. And you're free, you feel free to go. All right. And no matter how the level of craziness it is, I'm gonna let Gene now explain one of his metaphysical stories. So please go ahead, Gene.
Like a lot of people say, that what I'm saying, for me, it's nothing I say that I believe in. It's what I've experienced. So kind of crazy, I guess. I had so many bizarre experiences. Like amazing. I was down staying with my mom at that time, which I hadn't lived with her for most of my life, but she picked me up because I had to go. My draft number was 28 for the lottery. And at that time, they were taking the top 128 numbers into the Tet Offensive. So she picked me up to, help me kind of get ready and have some time to go skiing at Taos. She was living in Albuquerque, so she let me have paid for a Taos ski vacation for myself. And then after that, I joined the Navy because I thought, okay, I'm not going to be in the Tet Offensive directly. I'll be in the Bay of Tonkin. And so on the day I joined, I went to watch, because that was the day I joined the Navy, and I was kind of stressed. Still going to wind up in the Bay of Tonkin. So I thought a funny movie would be nice. And it was a brand new first show run of Alice's Restaurant. So I went and watched the movie. And, being a young 19-year-old guy, I was like, okay, during the intermission, they had intermission. I came out to get some popcorn and some drink. And there was a very cute girl. So I'm flirting with her, and I was like, went back, watched the movie, came out. She was cleaning up the popcorn and the stand. So I just went out. And as I stepped out, where that movie theater was a 4-lane street. So 2 lanes, one direction, 2 lanes with a median in the middle, in the campus area for the University of Arizona there, New Mexico. And so suddenly a ripple went across my eyes, and I'm in a residential area. I'm like, and it's a regular street, just no median, just street. And I'm like, I don't understand. So I went to the corner because in Albuquerque, it's divided by the freeway. So you have everything to one side is street, the other side is avenue. And then in the university area, the other direction, the names of the street are named after colleges. So I, figured I can just find out where I am by the street and the name of the cross the street. And get back to the movie and where the car was. And I go to the corner and I'm on avenues, not street. I'm on the other side of the I-40. It's like miles away. And then I go, and I'm on Ute. Oh no, I'm a white guy in a Spanish section. This is not good. And it's dark and late. So I immediately as I walked over there, I heard, "Yo, gringo." I don't do like the movie and look behind. I just took off running. And at that time I was hoping to try to get into the Olympics. I was down to a 405 miles, so I could book it. I mean, I had already one time ran 12 miles in 52 minutes nonstop. So that's a 415 mile. I was in serious condition. So I ran, and finally, they were fading up behind me. And then there was an overpass over the freeway. And I went by First National Bank. And I look at the time, I go, that can't be right. It's 30 minutes before I left the theater. I don't understand. So I got back to the theater. And as I'm crossing the campus, there's a big bell tower. And it's still before I left the movie. I'm like, all the clocks are wrong. I go into the theater, and she's not as cleaned up, has as much cleaned up. And I go, she looks at me because I've been flirting and trying to get her phone number. She goes, so you're who? Yeah, I'm trying to impress her, like you do when you're a young kid. So she goes, so you're Houdini too, I suppose. I go, what's that supposed to mean? She goes, how'd you get out? Walked out the front door. She goes, no, nobody's come out since the movie started again. I go, no, the movie's already over. She goes, no, it's not. I went and opened the door, looked in, the movie's still going. I'm like, oh no, what just happened? I'm like, oh my goodness, I've somehow gone back in time. And I'm going, trying to, I didn't know physics and quantum physics and all the stuff. I go, if I come out of the theater and I see myself, do I like wink out of existence because an older me meets a newer me? Or do I actually eradicate the whole universe, maybe create a paradox, quantum paradox? I'm like, I better go hide behind the theater. I go, it's nice talking to you. I'm gonna go. So she must have been freaked when I went out now, and then I went out again. This must have been weird for her, but I never went back. And it took me 20 years to figure out that I had done what's called tesseracting. Is by, what I call a threefold rip, by having my, when I came out, was thinking about her. So my mental body was with her. My physical body went left to go to the parking lot that's next to the theater. But my spiritual body, my soul, was actually at rest. So it created like you put a peg in the ground and put a rubber band over it, and then with your hands, you pull it in two different directions at once. You let your hands go and it slingshots your soul, and all the rest of you, your physical body going one way, your mental body back where it is. It slingshotted me through space and time, and it made me go back in time and 8 miles away, because when I was running that, I was running 12 to 20 miles a day. And doing wind sprints and laps, and I could feel distance precisely in my body. So when I had gone from that Ute and street down in Spanish Harlem back to the university, I knew that was 8 miles, about 8 miles. And I'm like, I certainly, when I got to the theater, could feel the 8 miles, but I would definitely feel if I've done 16. I mean, I certainly don't feel like I did 8 miles to get there. So what I did is, what's called a tesseract. I more think it's appropriate to call it a threefold rip, where you rip space-time by going in three directions and then letting go of the other two, and it slingshots you through space and time. And so, it's, took me 20 years to figure out what the heck happened there.